Alright, raid team. So, time for Warlocks and Hunters. For Hunters, I have 3 builds. I'm not as comfortable with Hunter, but there are 2 builds that I really use hardcore for Hunter, and then 1 build that got enticed by a particular ornament to build. Okay, Warlocks. Do not pay attention to light level or any of that. I have not upgraded any weapons. We're going to start with Solar. My Fashion Warlock game is terrible, but there's that. It's abysmal. Um, so there are the solar stuff. This is for well specifically. Because if you're in a team with a Titan, especially if they have a rally barricade, you don't need Lunafaction boots. And I didn't really want to spec into Phoenix Protocol either, because Orb Generation is really good right now. So there's that setup. These are the mods. By the way, these are all without using anything from the artifact, so these will be viable for next season. These are the weapons. The sniper and heavy are interchangeable, but I would heavily suggest you get the hand cannon. Heavily suggest you get that hand cannon. It is really good, especially since hand cannons are getting a buff next season or mid-season patch sometime. But these are my build for that. Specifically 1K because it builds up Scorch now. This is where things get a little weird. First off, if you want to know, there's the fashion for this. This is where things get a little weird because I don't really know very many people that use Prometheus Spur, but I do, and I like it, alright? Heads and Vengeance, coming back with the vengeance. Hand cannon's really good. I decided to use Arbalest this time instead of a sniper. This is my setup for that. This is my weapon setup. This is my armor setup. Now, these are the builds that I really implore you to try. First off is my Void Warlock build. There's the Fashion. I don't have good legs that I would like to pair with this, but there's that. This is the Void setup. This is the armor setup. And this is the weapon setup. Malfeasance got a catalyst recently, which is why I really wanted to have it here. And because this is going to be mostly for majors, this is obviously for bosses. And Hollow Denial is really good. It is still good to this day. And it's really, really ammo efficient. Now, we'll save the weirdest for last. This is my Osiomancy build. This is the Fashion. Get the shader from Guardian Games. Azure Scepter is useful here. I'm running double special specifically because my heavy weapon, by the way, both these weapons are from King's Fall. You do not need the adept version. I have the machine gun crafted, however, do I use it? Absolutely not. I would suggest having a shotgun or fusion here. If you want to have a shotgun more specifically for breaking stasis crystals, but you don't really need that with this build. This is the setup for stasis. And I'll show you this is the weapon setup. Unrelenting Headstone is really good for this machine gun in particular. And I have Reservoir Burst, which is really good for that fusion rifle. But this is my armor setup. Okay, time for the weirdest one and unconventional one. Arc. So this is my fashion for that if y'all want it. Okay, this is for Chaos Reach. I don't really like using the other Warlock Super because this build is just so much fun. So this is the, other thing set up. The arc setup itself. And I'm going to be honest, give Symmetry a try. Give Symmetry a try. You will not regret it. Especially with Arc Warlock. Arc Souls can really take advantage of close and mid range, and Symmetry is really good with mid and long range, and it can fire Seeker mode, so it can fire Arc Seekers, which is really cool. I implore you to try this. Riptide is mostly there as sort of help out with majors and bosses, and also to slow enemies down. And then Hothead for the arc, because I like it. And of course, you can change these two if you want to change anything. I would suggest Thunderlord here, and then I would suggest Ikelos SMG here if you want to change these two. But I recommend try Symmetry. Try it. This is my armor setup. This one really relies on the. A lot of these builds rely on the melee, specifically for Warlock and Hunter, really rely on the melee to grenade relation. Titan doesn't necessarily. My Titan builds rely more so on the weapon than anything else, and like the grenade and the abilities individually, while my Warlock and Hunter stuff really relies on the grenade to melee ratio, like interactions. There's my weapon setup. Okay, that's it for Warlock. I know, very small. I decided not to touch Strand for now because I'll just show y'all. It's not completed. I would rather have the Threadling grenade here and spec more into Threadlings, and then I could really go ham, but unfortunately I don't have all that stuff unlocked, so sorry, no Strand build. I will say if you are using Threadlings and stuff, I would recommend the grenade launcher from Root of Nightmares and the auto rifle from Root of Nightmares. That combo, because it would really destroy Tormentors and Hive Guardians, and also make sure you get I believe I have it on this. No, I don't. Hatchling's what it's called. Get Hatchling on both of those. You won't regret it. Really, really good setup for that. I don't quite know how to make a super close range build for Warlock. So there is that problem. I'm saying this because keep in mind I do know that I pretty much know what the rate is. I'm not gonna say it, but there will be an up close damage encounter based on what I have heard. There will be an up close damage encounter that you will be forced to do up close, and if you're far away, you basically won't be able to do damage. That's why no backup plans build is necessary, and that's why a particular hunter build I'm about to show y'all is going to be important as well. Warlocks, I am sorry, but I couldn't come up with anything super close range because none of your supers really scream close range. The hunters. I gotta admit, y'all have the coolest shit. All right. But first, we're gonna start off with. We'll start off with. You know, we'll start off here. We'll start off with. We'll start off with Strand. Good old Strand. There is the fashion. Very simple. There's the fashion for y'all. Now, for Strand, this is my setup. This is important. Do not use anything other than the grapple grenade. The grapple grenade is necessary for the powered melee. The additional charge, and this one is actually pretty important too. The grapple will not have very many interactions with this. However, the threatlings are going to be super important for this. So that's why getting up close, doing the dodge, that's also why I have Wormhusk Crown specifically on, is because you do need to kind of get up. You can, if an enemy gets too close, you can dodge. You will get some of your health back if you get critically wounded or something, and you leave that decoy there. Threatlings, yada yada yada. This is actually good for PvE, so. Now, Navigator, do the Catalyst. The Catalyst is important because if you have an enemy far away, you can hit that grapple point, grapple, swing yourself forward without, and then use that grenade charge on an enemy that's a little bit farther away to do that powered melee. Powered melee is important because of this. Powered melee final boss create orbs of power. I am pretty sure that counts, that grapple melee counts as a powered melee and not as a grapple. Let me know, but I'm pretty sure that counts as a powered melee. Just correct me if I'm wrong. I just have this on just because. Y'all can have anything in this slot, as long as it's primary ammo, because sometimes you do run out of ammo. Then here I have the sword. Do not have these perks on it. Have Hatchling and Unrelenting on here instead. That'll be better for you. But honestly, if you have this machine gun with hatchling, use this. I just have target lock and keep away, which is honestly pretty good. But if you have this machine gun with hatchling, use that instead. Now I'm going to show you the mods are very, very simple. I do not have Artifice Armor for Warlock, for a Hunter at all. Warlock, I have some pieces, but most of the Warlock armor pieces that I have were exceedingly high to the point to where the Artifice Armor, even with the Artifice extra slot, didn't have as much of a stat bump as the armor that I had. Hunters is in a rough spot. I'm sorry. But there's those. There's that. Not necessarily a strange build. This is pretty much the only time I don't use Wormhusk Crown. But there's the fashion if you want it. Here is the Void setup here. There is, if you want to replace anything, you can replace this with... Where is it? This one. Void debuffs applied to you invisibly have increased duration. I do not know if this stacks a Graviton forfeit. Someone let me know. The crux of this build is Heart Shadow. Heart Shadow is actually really good. It applies weaken and stuff. It's really good for boss DPS. Instead of using Tractor Cannon, you can use Heart Shadow because it applies weaken every so often. And you also have the weaken thing, right? So you get heavy attacks made with full sword energy, turn you invisible, and fire exploding void projectiles. Those void projectiles apply weakening. So, yeah, there you are. Which is awesome, and that means you don't need Tractor Cannon, you just need one Void Hunter with Heart Shadow. Does really good DPS in my opinion. So, the hand cannon, this is really the only character that I'm willing to use this hand cannon on because the reload is abysmal. You can have pretty much anything here, but preferably have it stasis to slow the enemy down so that you can get a couple of shots off with the hand cannon or, use the sword. But I have demo and collective action because you will be picking up void breaches with this thing, which is nice. These are the mods. These are the perks. Bada bang, bada boom. Last but not least, the strangest build I've done in a while. This is my Stasis Hunter. This is the fashion for it, in case I want to know. Alright, do not mind the light level, because... Now, Monte Carlo, this is mostly built around the Stasis Shurikens. I found this ornament, and I thought it looked juicy, so I had to make a Stasis build with it. This will probably work with any build, but I'm not comfortable with melees outside of Stasis. This is my setup. There you are. This can really be anything, as long as it's special. Preferably probably a good fusion or, a good fusion or shotgun, preferably, but you can use a sniper. And then Stasis Rocket with Chill Clip. That's what really should be here. The only reason why I do not have the machine gun here is because with Warlock, I'm using a special ammo weapon as my main damage deal, as my main thing. But since I have my primary ammo weapon as my main deal, this is a great secondary. I can remain this as a heavy. Those are my weapon mods that I have on. And these are my actual armor mods. Alright, Raid Team. That is all of the builds for Warlock and Hunter. Previous one was Titans. If y'all have any better ideas, let me know. Especially with Hunter, because I am very inexperienced with Hunter. I have the most hours with Titan, and then Warlock. And then Hunter I just use as my third string character. So if something is obscenely wrong, let me know. I know I'm using Wormhusk Crown. That is my clutch. That is like my crutch, alright? So forgive me. Alright, let me know what y'all think. Adios.